Hello everyone, my name is Aaron. I am the Brick Scavenger, and today we're here to talk about WhatNot fees. If you are a seller on WhatNot, and specifically you're doing small kind of micro transactions, $1, $2, $3 transactions, you are paying an insane amount of fees. So let's take a deep dive look, kind of nerdy, but let's take a deep dive look at the fees and make sure you understand what fees you are paying and maybe some best ways to minimize the fees to help put more money in your pocket. This is going to be super nerdy, so I don't blame you if you're not interested, but it might help save you some money. Let's take a deep dive. All right, guys, so let's talk WhatNot fees. This is going to be really mathy and probably pretty boring for a lot of people. So you're looking at minifigures on my personal collection wall. So if you don't want to pay attention to math, then feel free to enjoy the view of some fun figures while we talk about this. So if you're a seller on WhatNot, you have agreed to pay fees for every sale that you make. And the advertised fees for WhatNot are 8% goes to WhatNot, 3% goes to PayPal, and then there's an additional 30-cent per transaction fee, which doesn't sound like a lot, but let's talk about the significance of that 30 cents transaction fee. So for simplicity's sake, let's say that you sell something on WhatNot for $25, okay? That means that $25 times 8% is $2. You're gonna pay $2 to WhatNot, all right? $25 times 3% goes to PayPal. That is 75 cents, all right? That's $2.75 total. But in addition to that, you're gonna pay 30 cents on top of that because that's a single transaction, which means that your total fees that you're paying on that $25 is $3.05, meaning that your take home on that is $21.95, okay? Now, when we talk percentages, that $21.95 divided by $25 is 87.80%. That means that your take home is 87.8% of the amount of money that your buyer paid to get that item, okay? Now, that's all fine and dandy. That comes to, roughly 88%. But let's talk about 3 examples that are common in the Lego world and what that really means for your bottom line. This may not be as significant for people who sell shoes or other things of high dollar value on WhatNot. But when you're talking micro transactions, like is often the case with Lego and Lego minifigures, $1 transactions are incredibly painful on the fees. So let's take 3 examples. Let's say that you sell a $1 city minifigure. Let's say that you sell a $10 clone. And let's say that you sell a $100 Spider-Man. Okay, those 3 examples. If you pay 8% fees on $1, you're paying 8 cents. And then the 3% PayPal fee is 3 cents. But that 30-cent transaction fee on $1 is still there. That means that you've paid 41 cents on a $1 transaction in fees, meaning that you're taking home 59 cents out of that $1. You are paying a whopping 41% fees, 41%, and you're only bringing home 59%, okay? So WhatNot may advertise that the fees are 11%, but don't forget about that 30-cent fee. It's incredibly important for microtransactions. If we jump up and make a $10 sale, we're gonna pay 80 cents to WhatNot in fees, 30 cents to PayPal in fees, and that same 30-cent transaction fee, meaning you pay a total of $1.40 in fees on that $10 item. You're taking home $8.60. And now notice your fee percentage drops all the way to 14%. when you make a $10 transaction instead of a $1 transaction. And your take-home percent would be 86% of the amount of money that your buyer paid. Now, if we jump all the way to a $100 item, you're going to pay $8 in fees, $3 in fees to PayPal, and 30 cents for that flat transaction fee, meaning you paid $11.30 in total fees, take home of $88.70, meaning you paid 11.3% in fees and take home 88.7% of that total money. So WhatNot advertises that the fees are 11%, but you just got to be careful when you're talking microtransactions. Now, why is that significant? Let's talk about that when we're talking about truly micro sales, maybe city fig sales, or the risk that you're taking on when you start an auction at a single dollar. Okay, so let's talk city figs, for example, which, generally sell for about $1 a piece. If you want to sell 100 city figures and you do it one at a time for $1 each, you're going to pay a total of $8 because people paid a total of 100 in WhatNot fees. You're going to pay $3 in PayPal fees total, but you are going to pay 100 different 30-cent transaction fees, which totals $30 worth of transactional fees, meaning that the total fees that you pay to sell those 100 city figs is $41. And you sell those 100 city figs and take home a total of $59. Okay? If you were to group those city figs in groups of 10 and sell them for $10, you would still pay the $8 in WhatNot fees. You'd still pay the $3 in PayPal fees, but now you're only doing 10 transactions instead of 100, meaning you're only paying $3 total in transactional fees. Now you're only paying $14 in fees, taking home $86 instead of $59. Now, if we jumped all the way to 100 and you sold all 100 city figs in one shot for $100, you're paying the $8 in WhatNot fees, the $3 in PayPal fees, and only one 30-cent transaction, meaning $11.30 in total fees, taking home $88.70. Not all that different from grouping them in groups of 10. Now, I understand. It's a whole lot easier to find a buyer to pay $1 for one city fig than it is to find a single buyer to pay $100 for 100 city figs. I understand that. But when you see some WhatNot sellers grouping their city figs or other small transactional item fees into bigger groups, here are 10 city figs for $10, 4 city figs for $4, 25 city figs for $25. You are saving an unbelievable amount of transactional fees by grouping those things together. And the difference between going from groups of 10 to groups of 100 is really not that much to the buyer. It's $2.70. But going from $1 items times 100 to grouping them in groups of 10 and doing 10 sales, that is $27 worth of money in the seller's pocket and did not affect the buyers at all. So it is very strongly recommended that you group your items and try to do transactions that are $3, $4, even $10 if at all possible, because that single transaction fee adds up in a hurry. All right, so that's a lot of fees. So what's the solution? Well, honestly, there is no solution. I happily pay those fees. Guys, think about the service that WhatNot provides for you. It is well worth paying that roughly 15% all in on. WhatNot brings you customers. First and foremost, they bring customers to you. And that is incredibly hard to do when you are selling on other platforms. So don't undervalue that. WhatNot handles your inventory. Your buy it now items, if they're there, they are handled on WhatNot servers, making life very easy for you. WhatNot collects payments. You don't have to chase buyers down to get them to pay for things. WhatNot handles it completely. WhatNot generates shipping labels for you. You don't have to go through the hassle of entering a bunch of shipping addresses and all of that kind of stuff. And WhatNot also handles disputes. If you have an unhappy customer, it is their job to go to WhatNot. A lost package, whatever it might be, the customer goes to WhatNot. Now, you may end up involved in some cases, but it is very, very easy as a seller because WhatNot is involved in that process as well. I will happily pay 15% fees for everything that WhatNot provides to me as the seller. Now, I do try to avoid $1 transactions the best I can, and I strongly recommend you do as well based on the math I already showed you. To me, a happy compromise is about $4 transactions. And so what I try to do, I run a $4 frenzy on my WhatNot channel because at $4 on average, I pay somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, maybe 16% fees. I can get it upwards of 86 to 87% in my pocket if I have a bunch of bigger items that I sell on a given day. But if I'm selling mostly $4 items, it is somewhere in the neighborhood of 15%, maybe 16% fees, which I have no issues with whatsoever. But do your best to avoid those dollar transactions. Group your city figs into groups of 4 or 5. Get your accessories up in a big group so that you can sell them for $5 instead of $1. Your customers, generally speaking, are willing to pay $4 for what they value at $4. Okay, that's not generally an issue. You might struggle to find buyers to buy 10 city figs for $10 or 100 city figures for $100. That is asking a lot of your buyers. But $4, my experience is people are willing to pay $4 for what they perceive as $4 worth of value. And that way they can pick and choose their items. They can grab 3, 4, 5 items at $4 a piece. They can have their $20 worth of items shipped to them. They can have a bunch of fun and it works out really well. Avoid those dollar fees. It'll mean less fees to you. It'll mean more money in your pocket. It might even mean more money that you have to buy more Lego so that you can keep playing the game on WhatNot. I am the Brick Scavenger. I hope this was helpful to you to understanding the WhatNot fees that you are paying. Good luck out there in the auctions. I'll be out there buying Lego from you guys. Would love to have you guys join me on my auctions. It's a wonderful community. We'll see you next time on the Brick Scavenger channel.